The project is a house made from cardboard. Actually, it's kind of hybrid. It's of plywood and cardboard. Because if you only make it from cardboard, you run into multiple problems. What is special about the house is it's light. The cardboard is very strong. It insulates, so it's structural. It insulates, and it's a kind of a weird project. It's also to inspire. There's like 2 rolls in one element, and that's like 320 meters stretching, and it's 400 square meters. It's covered from the inside and it's covered from the outside. So here's like, this is a plastic, but the plastic is not glued to it. But we have to do this in order to keep the moisture from inside coming from us. We produce a lot of moisture. Also when you make dinner, when you cook, there's a lot of moisture when you shower, and that should not go in the cardboard. So we have to take care of moisture. So and then on the outside, here's it's very sturdy, very strong. Then we make the raincoat goes over. And this is the raincoat. So here you see the cardboard. Now it's still a cardboard, but it's kind of wrapped in the raincoat.
But you can see there's no glues there or here. I mean.
No, this is not attached to it. So it's a kind of cradle to cradle. So you can take it apart. The only thing which is a bit more difficult is that we have to glue this cardboard on each other, and that is done by, it's a wood glue. Like it's the same glue which is used to glue this plywood. This is a very interesting section because here you see we're making a window in a cardboard element. So here you can see we just cut through the cardboard, we put like a router on it, there's a hole in it, and then we put the window in. So here you can see it's not a scam. It's real. This is cardboard. This is cardboard. It's 24 layers. This is 12. Then you see this this section, and then there's another 12 here. So the cardboard goes from here till here. So this is like, yeah, this is all cardboard. Look, I mean, it goes from, of course, this is just the staples we use. Well, what is it in? It's like a silly cardboard throwaway box. This is the cardboard we use. So we're making a house out of this, and of course there's more into it, but this is not a gimmick anymore. This is like rock solid. I mean, I'm talking to a Dutch company, we want to put one on Antarctica, because of course it has a very low footprint, and it's a good story, and of course people don't want like any shelters on Antarctica, but they came to us and they say, is it possible to make one on Antarctica? I don't know where it brings us. What we actually produce is the segments. Look, you see the one with the 2 windows?
Yeah.
Well, that's one element. People buy, the smallest we sell are 4, okay. But you can also, if you want 2, you can have 2. If you want 1, you can have 1. Well, why not? So this is this one, I'm in one element now. Yeah, look, here, this is a bedroom for 2. So the next bed will be here.
Bunk beds.
This bunk, yeah, this is bunk beds. Little extra window. And then also, when you have no guests or no kids, you put the bed up. It could even be like a little office. So here it's, and now I can go in, and then I still have like the little window open here, and hi, and it won't feel cramped. It's a bit like a boat, or like a train, or so kids love this. So if you buy this one plus this one, which is a bathroom, now you have 2, and on this side the kitchen will attach. So then already it sleeps 2, and here you see the small kitchen. This is this is also for an office. So you want to make a coffee, so you can make the coffee. You can ventilate. You can put the socket, and here's the toilet on this side. It's a toilet also with like a nice little window. So if we add like a couple of elements here, you have like an office. You see that it's like segments. Yes, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, but you could also easily make 10, or you could also make 3. Huh? Here you see like a 4, which also has like a little interior. So what we actually produce is the segments. And the segment, and this is already like has some alterations because it has 2 windows. So this is actually where it starts. This is one without. This is nothing in it. We can make a window in it. Then we can make a facade on it. It's a prefab house. We place the house in 1 day. Well, we can, but it normally takes like 2 days, and then it's like 1 more day finishing it. There's the foundation, which is like relatively easy. And the next step is that's already a segment on it. And then multiple segments. In 3 days the house is there. The project is definitely not invented by me. I just spotted the project after it kind of failed. But it's developed by René Snel, which is a Dutch entrepreneur. And he was making cardboard products. And then we come back to Fiction Factory. We've been in business for 30 years, always making theater sets, exhibitions, pieces of art. So we're kind of very familiar with making stuff. So then me and my team, we went to work on this kind of cardboard experiment. That's a cardboard tent. It's called a car tent. And they do this for festivals. This is also funny. This is from Japan. This is a cardboard head, and this is really cardboard, eh?
So it's kind of disposable. I mean,
it's a disposable head. It's from Japan. Yeah, okay. And of course, the Velcro is not disposable. No. So step by step. The cardboard table is done by a friend. This friend also worked on Wikkelhouse. He actually invented the way we glue the cardboard now. Actually, here you can see we sew the cardboard, and we glue it, and you can feel it. This is like super strong. Of course, it's still cardboard. So for the house, this doesn't work because the house we have to kind of wrap afterwards to protect it for rain. But for the table, it just works. This is also from the friend who's making the table. This is totally fire resistant. So this you cannot burn because it's patented, but it's with an organic stuff. It's soaked in this organic stuff, and it's also very rigid.
Cardboard is much more than we think it is.
Yeah, in the end it's also cardboard, but let's say we could do more. And here you can actually see the concept where it came from. The guy who invented this, he invented a kind of rolled box. So this is not folded, this is a kind of layer on layer on layer. So you create a kind of sandwich. That's also why it's curved here, otherwise you can't roll it. If you fold it, it's kind of square. Because of this kind of sandwich construction and these curves, it's very, very strong. Like I put a lot of torsion on it now. So this was a kind of threat for the cardboard industry. Because if you make a box like this, I mean, you probably use only 1 instead of 10. But then this René Snel, he was in the pub and he was bragging about his invention. And his friend said, yeah. And then they made the bet. And he said, it's so strong, you can make a house out of it. Oh, and that's what he did. When René started his machine, you see it's just a piece out of the big part. Like this is the floor. This is the wall. And you see this is fully cardboard. This is like 24, 26 layers. This is already a very old piece. And you can still, well, it's a little dusty, but it's still there. What we did, we made it into this. So you see the difference, eh? Here we're like inside the house. Then there's like 12 layers of cardboard. Then there's a splitter. There's another 12 layers. Then there's the raincoat. And then there's the facade. This is like fully cardboard. We kind of split it into 2 sides, so we also make it into 2 elements, and with this also to get like electricity through the section here, a steel rod goes through so we can kind of connect all the elements. Actually here you see like, this is what I found at this inventor's workshop, and then I asked him, what is this? And then he started telling me the story about the Wikkelhouse. So he had like aluminum glued on the cardboard and like a little multiplex on the inside. So this was his first step. And this is what fascinated me. And then he told me the story, and then he showed me the machine. You're not totally lucky because the machine is not rolling. Okay. We don't roll every day, but this is actually what I found. And in a way, I was intrigued, but I also kind of fell in love with the thing. Because this is almost theater. I mean, how does it work? What is it? Well, this is like the Wikkel machine. This is so definitely not made by us, but we kind of recognize the potential. It's developed to make 10,000 of these elements. You almost don't see it, but the roof, the wall, and even the floor is round. So you have the corners and the shoulders and the top. That's of course round because we have to wrap it around. But besides that, but this is also a radius. This is round. You almost can't see it. It's not straight. And that is because of the structural strength. Because a globe is the strongest shape in the universe. And it also needs it because for 70% it's held up by the cardboard. It's only 30% by the plywood and 70% is done by the cardboard. Besides this cardboard element, we've also made one which is insulated by flax. Because water is such an issue, and then on a facade, on the end there's of course the windows, and that's vulnerable. So that's how we developed from this. We developed also this one, which is then just a more ordinary way of building, because it's just wood skeleton, and then we put in a natural insulator, which is the flax. So we combine a kind of very alternative way of building with a very traditional. Makers are always like they're doing, and I think makers should experiment more. Because you know, a lot of inventions are made because people just are experimenting and make a mistake and something happens. Entrata! So now this is the first element. This is the first section. Here you see the seam. This is 1 meter 20. This is the seam. And this is the one with the facade. So this is the flex one. This is the one which is exposed mostly to the environment, to the wet. So here we decided not to have the cardboard one, but to have the flex one. Because that's more traditional, it's more like reliable, we know more. We have to put like a guarantee on the house. Then I step to the second part, which is fully cardboard. Because a window, there's a window in it, we're in control. I mean, this is a good system, it's waterproof, we trust it, it's small. Then we go to the third one, which also has like a little window, but it's just also a cardboard element. Then we go to number 4, and this is actually the most interesting because the kitchen is attached to the 5th element. So that's also why you can look under here, it's hanging on the 5th element. All the facilities, they come from the 5th element, not from the 4th element. So you can just lift this out. So this is a kind of a dull element. And the kitchen is like a full kitchen. It has like a fridge. Nicely, there's like a place where you can put like an oven. There's like a cooking plate. We've got an integrated, suction for the hood. The little, of course small. I mean, it's not like a little shelf. The shelf is also attached to this element. We use, of course, nice sockets.
The kitchen sticks out from.
It kind of it hangs. It just, if we put the house together, I first place this 5th. 5th is first. Then 4 goes in, and then we put the kitchen into, we hang it. It's also, there's a steel structure in here. You can see this also, there's like a steel hook here. There's like a big hook here. We hang this kitchen on this element. So this is a small steel hook, but there's like, actually you can see, is there one more? No, this is not, no, this is one, yeah, you can't see this. So so this is in fact a very expensive part, because the kitchen is attached to it. This is also the toilet. This has like the electricity system. This has like the water system. It also is the shaft for like the heating and the cooling. So the air goes in here, it comes out there. So this is also, the heat pump is also integrated in this element. And then you can go to the toilet, of course, you can take a shower, but you can also, if you have to do your clothes, there's even like a washing machine in it. It's a tiny one, but it's a tiny house. Then it got the solar system, it got the boiler, and last but not least, if you're going out and you want to make yourself beautiful, it even has like a little cupboard where you can put your lipstick. But this is like made in the wall. This is here, we're already in the kitchen. So if I would drill a little hole, I'm back in the kitchen again. So we tried to use as much space as we can. And then also in this element, we make the passway to the next house. So if you want to, then we put a tunnel on this, and then you could walk to the next house.
So you have two connected.
Or 3, or 4.
Next house, or if it were another bedroom or something?
Whatever, or if you divorce and you still want to live together. I mean, it could also, it could be a window, it could be a door, but it's made, it's developed in order to connect 2 houses.
That's great.
And then we come to element number 6. And this is this walk-in closet. I think it's a bit messy, but this can be this bedroom.
It could be the bunk room.
The bunk room,
yeah.
or it could be like a little office. So this was number 5, this is number 6, which is the storage. 7, 8. There's a table now, but whatever. This could be a bedroom. And here at the end of the house. So 7 is fully cardboard with a window again. And then here we're like in a flex one again because it's the end.
So this one has 8, is that typical?
Nah. I mean, there's a woman in Almere is living in an 8. She's living single and she's living in an 8 and she's very happy with it. We sold maybe 20%, which was an 8. And then there's 4s and there's 6 and there's 5s. There's, I hope to sell a 3 because
Really?
I like it really tiny. 3 could be this one. Then you have this little kitchen here, like a really tiny kitchen. Then you have got 2 where you can have a bed and like a little table, and that's it then. One element is 5 square meters.
Yeah.
This is 8, so this is 40 square meters. Yeah, so 3 could work, but then it's a bit like a hotel room. But then of course you have the sky, you have a garden, if you're lucky. Yeah, what do you need? I mean, I lived in smaller spaces.
Like
Boats or a camper van, or yeah, so compared to a gypsy caravan, this is like a villa. This is one that this has only a toilet. This is for an office. So in an office you don't need a shower. And then this one here is the one which has an integrated everything. Because in a house, of course, you need like electricity, you need water, you need heating. So then you see the heat pump, fully electric. Ventilation system will be covered by the ceiling. There's the shower cabin. This is another thing we experiment with because showering is of course wet. So then the cardboard is of course tricky. So then we developed this. This is the shower plate or so. And that is made of flax with a bio resin. And this is how it works. So this is the flax, 100% natural. Then we make this in a mold. Then we add the resin. And then you end up with this. See, here you can still see it because this is just a sample. So here's the flax, here's the resin. And that's how we made our shower floor. The shower. People thought it was dirty. I said, no, it's natural. Nature is dirty.
Elements are built on precision, aren't they?
Yeah, it's all CNC routed. Because otherwise it wouldn't fit. There's even the sockets are here in. Like the electricity comes of course from this element. So we get in under and then it distributes through the house. Do you see the bending? He's bending there now. See, this is how we have to, because this is like the bended interior. So there's a lot of work involved. That's also why they're not cheap. I mean, people think, oh, it's a cardboard house, it'll be cheap. No, it's a relatively, it's affordable, but it's not cheap. And here you see this is on top of it. In order to make this in, Najib just rolls the thing, so he can work on the bottom and he can work on the floor. See, this one already had it. This one has been already like, yeah. This is maybe interesting because this is a floating one. It's in Rotterdam. It's in a tidal harbor, so sometimes you don't see it, and then it comes up again. Look, it floats. It just floats on the platform.
And
see?
you don't worry about water, cardboard. I mean, it's
no,
fine.
we always have to take care that the wind can do the drying. If there's like ventilation, then the wetness is not a problem. And of course, the cardboard is packed. Like it's in this raincoat. It doesn't get wet. Here's one in London. It's on a rooftop because they're very light. You can just put them it's in Hoxton, actually a very hot neighborhood. In Holland, the biggest challenge is space to put the houses and permits and authorities who say, what is it? What is this? And those are what is used most, of course. This is like in nature, like recreational stuff. People love to kind of rent it and sleep in it. It helps because it's beautiful and it's green and the story, but at the same time they say, yeah, but for instance in Holland, if you don't have like a hallway, like here, so actually there should be like a little hallway, because somehow in time we thought like coming in like this is inappropriate. So you need kind of a special permit in order not to have like a hole. There's all kind of stuff like that.
So you don't, in the end, you don't see any cardboard?
No, unless you drill a hole. Yeah, you should be careful with that. Okay. Don't drill too much in the cardboard, because if you want to hang something, there's a very strong section here, because this is like 36 mil of plywood, 30 behind it. So here you can, like, heavy loads could be here. And then of course you can drill a hole here. I mean, it's not the end of the world, but I mean it will look ugly. And here you can see this. Here you see like the raincoat, which is unprotected now. We're testing this. And this is the final layer. That's just a wooden layer. I mean, this is like very common. But this can also be replaced by a solar panel, which you saw on the roof. The solar panel could also be the protector for the sun, because it kind of eats the sun. The main interesting part is to see how this cardboard kind of goes through the decades. Because in a way I have a gut feeling that we are able to make paper houses. And then if you go from there, for example, to like the idea of shelters for refugees houses, for example, then I think it's interesting to kind of continue in this search, where at a certain point we might end up like, hey, now it's a fully cardboard house, it's fully biodegradable, and we don't need the raincoat maybe anymore, because there's also experiments with nano paints. I mean, the evolution goes step by step. So it could be a small step in a direction. But also, maybe we can prove that this is not temporary at all. Maybe this just is going to last for really like 100 years. But who's there? We won't be there anymore. But maybe the houses will be. We don't know. We have had also a lot of fundamental research with universities, with engineers, because there's not so much data on cardboard. And as far as I know, there's been people building all over the world with cardboard. There's Shigeru Ban, the Japanese artist, he's of course famous. But there's not so many people who really made it this far. Really, it's a product, it sells, people buy it, people have faith in it. It will also change maybe, well, I hope well, in the end I just hope it inspires people.